Okay, good morning. Welcome to the day 2 of the Open Fields Conference, RIXC Festival, Symbiotic Senses. So we start this morning with the presentation of the new book, which just came out as a co-production between RIXC and Aalto University. And I will be giving now the word to editors of this book, who will talk more about the book. So I will introduce Lily Díaz-Kommonen. So Lily is professor of new media art in Aalto University, in the School of Art, Design and Architecture. And she's a head of research there. She was a head of research when also the book was going out. So that's why we are collaborating about this conference. And Juhani TENHUNEN is also from Aalto University, from Aalto Studios, where he's responsible about international projects and also VR projects. Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. As Rasa said, I'm Lily Díaz, and I am a professor of new media at Aalto University, the School of Art, Design and Architecture. I am not the head of research anymore, but that doesn't mean that I'm not involved in many projects and so on. So, So, I have to say thank you so much for the opportunity that we've had to actually complete this work. This is based on the Hybrid Labs Symposium that we had in 2018. And as you can imagine, definitely I call it the COVID season, right? Played havoc on all our plans, and it's been, on the side, and then now we just completed it, and it's really, I think that is a really great volume. We began the symposium, it was May 30th, and 2018, and we began the symposium with a performance event by artist Camilla Dahl, in which she recruited, might have been between 15 to 20 local performers with her to, I would say, what I have of the documentation, perform an act of love on the amphitheater of Alvar Aalto University. That, of course, we knew what was going to happen, but so it required some preparation, and as you can imagine, having, scrubbing this monument that is, it's a heritage site, right? Before, to make it ready for the performance. And that was a very interesting thing. And I think one of a very unique task in preparing for a symposium. And then now about the publication. And I will just talk, very briefly about like the contents and, I think also that in addition, it was kind of difficult to pin down what to do with this topic of hybridity, because nowadays it seems like everything is hybrid and what is not hybrid and so on. So, and we had some very serious discussions about this. And then, I set myself the task of, let me see if I can come up with definitions that then we could apply to the works that are being presented. And I would say that, so the first thing is this notion of syncretism, syncretic. And in the context of the work, it is defined as earlier cultural force that gathers or attracts and incorporates from the new, as well as the old, I should say that as well. And one aside point here is that in this introduction, I am using from, I'm taking from anthropological literature, which is where my background is located, in anthropology and new media and design. And then the second term is bricolage, which is interdisciplinary and intermedial methods that afford a synthesis between different genres to enable new. So, and I think it's very important that we who are involved with the new media start also, if we haven't done it already, to look to the notion of intermediality, because there's a lot of very interesting work happening there. And the results are assemblage of dynamic forms, and then the clarification of the complex, because, generally I have at least, noticed, and I'm not saying that everybody does this, but it's like somehow the equation of complexity with something that is complicated or like, very dense. And, actually, I offer an example of from focuses on the notion of folds in a system, folds, and how it is not possible to decompose, what comes out as, or what we describe as a complex entity. You cannot break it apart without taking out the meaning. And this is from the work of Jean Lemoine. And in the essay, in the introduction, I tried to represent it, with this molecular representation of Lysol Rubin compound. Cannot be broken into pieces without it ceasing to be Lysol Rubin, which, it is, it's not, it's a man-made material that it's actually used in printing, right? And then what's very interesting to me is that since the symposium, I have been focusing on the work done by Fluxus artists, and then I found this Jean Dupuy's Heartbeats Dust installation from 1968 that he uses a stethoscope to put together, in my opinion, is probably one of the first works of truly interactive art in the modern sense of the word. And so we need to think that, okay, so this representation is one way to look at that molecular. And then we just I just want to show you this here quickly. Yeah, basically the idea is that, that's Jean, and there you can see it. And then I'm gonna stop it because you can then follow on your own and, read more about it. And as we say in the back of the issue and in the introduction, it's this idea that we really wanted to like work on the notion of history, because it's one of the things that new media has been like, it's accused that, okay, you people, you do all these works and it's, all like very ahistorical, right? It's not connected with, say, the sounds of the times and so on. So, and at least also from my perspective, I think that's very important. And then the book itself is divided, well, actually we have 4 sections, but the first 3, which is the ones that belong to the Hybrid Lab Symposium, a theory session that is about hybrid media and how it blends traditional genres and new media systems to reshape cultural narratives and power dynamics. And then the second section is about dimensionality and how the hybrid could be conceived as a conduit for novel epistemologies that foster innovative forms of cultural expression. And then the third and final session of the volume, or of actually the part that belongs to the 2018 symposium, is that hybrid methodologies as pathways to new solutions. And, why do we see them, or why do I see them as hybrid? For many reasons, including the, melange of, the past, the present, the future that, we also see and in a lot of contemporary works. And then with this, I will pass the floor to my partner, Juhani.
All right, I'm Juhani TENHUNEN and development manager at Aalto Studios, which is part of Aalto University. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting us, Rasa and others. Well, but we got a new building in the middle of Aalto University campus right this autumn. And the building is called Marsio, which is after the name of the Alvar Aalto's wife Aino Aalto, whose maiden name was Marsio, and that's why it's Marsio. Now we have both Aalto and Marsio there in the campus. The studios is really nice. It has all the possible studios from podcast studios to experimental and motion capture studios. And it also has a cinema theater and event spaces for all kinds of purposes. And yeah, Aalto Studios runs also out of, now I should be on the next slide already. Yeah, this video should work properly, I guess. Yes, also like all kinds of workshops. Also, what we have there is one of them is the Fab Lab, and then a new facility is kind of a wet lab, which is called Grow Lab. I will tell you a little bit more about that later. Also, then we go to the next. And we also run, apart from the facilities, we have actions. What we do there is this kind of a Matrix network, which is infrastructure and community for practicing cutting-edge science, art, and art-related societal sustainable digitalization and virtualization. And the Magic is a joint effort of 6 Finnish universities, and the universities are listed there. And through the networks, the universities can share resources and, of course, knowledge. And then we also have there these some of these studios that are listed here are kind of part of the Magic's network. And the other universities do have similar spaces or different spaces. And then we also run European Union funded projects, and also we don't care where we get funding. That can be from other sources too, but often it is European Union. But these are not. This digital creatives is something else, okay, and that is City of Helsinki. So the digital creatives is a pre-incubator program for creative sector students and creative technologies, and then the creative technologies is a community in the research of creative technology in the Aalto University. And then we have these European Union projects that we are actively looking for, and this is one of them. It's EMIL, European Media and Immersion Lab. It's a Horizon Europe funded project. We are the coordinator, and we have their partners from UK University of Bath, from Germany Film Academy Baden-Württemberg, and from Spain University Pompeu Fabra. And here we have the list of the funded projects, because EMIL gives funding to other projects. It has given, now we have 13 projects. I guess the number was 13 from all over the Europe. We have given funding. We have given away 5.6 million to these projects, and it's about XR media and developing XR media in very many different ways. Then we have another one, Cocoon project, that is Erasmus Plus funded project. It creates green practices and that kind of education. And it is a strategic alliance that combines research and education on biodesign. Cocoon identifies sustainable living bio-based solutions used to produce materials to replace fossil-based materials. It develops methodologies, pilots, and test processes for teaching biodesign at university, vocational schools, and lifelong learners. One of the aims is to build a wet lab that we call Grow Lab in the very near to our Fab Lab. And that these are the partners. Lusofona University from Portugal is the leader. We are there, and then Breinholt Polytechnic from Iceland, Advanced Architecture Group, IAC from Spain, and Porto University from Portugal. And then the Beyond the Hybrid is an important milestone for Aalto Studios. It connects the hands-on doing to theory and vice versa. It teaches us the history of hybridity in the context of media art, reminds us that it's the digital age is still young and there is still a long way to go. And then mixed reality, XR, and especially artificial intelligence, AI, are crawling into our lives in many forms of wild things, gadgets, and strange apps in our mobile phones. Mixed reality combines virtual and real worlds, and we have already changed our habits and understanding of environment. We do not know soon which was the first thing or object or something strange or wild. I would like to refer Polyxeni Mancho's and Marian Nicoli's article, Wild Things, in the book. At first, there were things. For centuries, we have been surrounded by things, but later on, things became objects which now seem to see it and leave the way to the new wild things that emerge. In the book, then it took a while to get all the puzzles in the right places. Many people have been working for this, and first of all, Lili has done a remarkable work. Lili here, and the authors, of course, they did a main part, and of course Rasa and all the RIXC team, and that makes it possible to happen finally. Maybe I should also mention Saara Mäntylä, Neha Said, and Samir Bovmik from our university, who were part of the team. And I'm not listing all the people because there are too many of them, and also the reviewers who reviewed the submissions to the symposium. There were quite many of them, and also thanks for them. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, here is the book. Ta-da! So we also, because it took quite a while to getting there. So we are very happy about this material from the Renewable Futures Conference. It was the fourth one, I think, or third one. Yes, so this was the conference series which we initiated in 2015. First, it took place in Riga, then it took place in Oslo, and then it took place in Aalto, in Helsinki. And we also have added the last section just to update with more recent RIXC Festival exhibitions of the last 3 years, including there is a catalog and last pages with this exhibition from the National Library. So you can follow also very hybridity today, so a bit more updated. Yeah, but these articles are really interesting. So we have some copies that are available, and we will have more later, and all authors and then contributors will receive also a copy. And it will be actually open source, right? But published and yes, and a PDF also in our website. Any more questions? Or?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm very curious and to read in detail how you actually define parameters of hybridity and how you put syncretism as a kind of historical remediation into it and the interdisciplinary aspect and so on. I'm asking this about the dynamics of this so-called hybridity cycle. Since when we created the category at Ars Electronica 2007 hybrid art, I'm involved in the creation of the category and I was in the juries every year since 2007. So following how hybridity unfolds over time. We were in the beginning 2007 taken an article as a base for the discussion how to define not only the criteria, but also quality within this new category. And it came to mind an article by Brian Strauss, an anthropologist, and he was addressing what he called a hybridity cycle. So hybridity is something that is continuously renewed and then becomes a purebred. And the purebred then can hybridize itself. So very much based on the kind of biological model, also made this category then also a welcoming place for so-called biological arts. And it came through the hybridity metaphor coming from biology. What is very interesting to say is that 4 years ago, Ars Electronica decided to abolish the category or to rebrand it. Now hybrid art is in the sub-chapters, and they called it artificial intelligence and life arts. So to cope with the kind of developments, to follow the hype of AI summers and winters and to follow this kind of curve. So apparently hybrid art for them had become a kind of purebred and it had to be renewed. So just asking this, how do you conceive of the temporality of the dynamics involved in the constitution of what hybridity means itself?
Oh, that's a really, interesting question. And, we could, be forever, but, discussing it. But I think that, that from, at least from my perspective, and you're right, that there is this cycle where the hybrid eventually becomes the purebred kind of thing. It's something that has been noted, and it's something that is also due to relationships of power, right? But from anthropological perspective, I am always like puzzled why this term of syncretism is not something that is like opened up more and used more, because in a sense I feel that is more quote unquote benign, in how it gathers, from all kinds of different categories. And I really appreciate what you just commented, because for sure, all of this thinking is very much based on an idea of language and language as a power tool. And, that then takes us straight to the artificial intelligence, because that's, also what's happening there. Right? So in a sense, it's, externalizing these relationships that have been, like embodied, in the purebred, right? To, outside now to the machine or machines. Whether it is the fact that I do believe that, the hybrid organisms that, we will become something of that sort. I don't see a problem with that. But if Ars Electronica decided that, okay, so now we have to, like renew our categories, that's okay. Really. That's, I mean, it's like, that's what happens with language. And then, it's something that then, I think what I'm more concerned with is this like noting of the historical moment and why is that happening? Now we are in the midst of yet another revolution with this, large language models, and they're using everything, right? So then how do we then bring those together and, reflect so that then what, is created, it serves hopefully for, an improvement, not just simply for, I I don't know, put, Elon Musk and his people in Mars or whatever, right? So this is, I think that this is my perspective. And I think, in the book, that's why I suggest that, that really look at the essays, because it's a wonderful collection from all kinds of very different perspectives, beginning from, Juhani mentioned Polyseni's essay, then we have Judy van der Elst, which, it's like she begins with, fish have to fly and, birds have to swim. So then let's, subvert the order.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
I answered your question. I don't know if it can be answered.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, precedent to the category creation in 2007, that is why it's nice to see how you jump in time and what is it meaning now, was that interactive art didn't mean anything anymore. And more artists were challenging interactivity as a paradigm, so the category became obsolete. And there was maybe 80% of persons challenged the category, oh, this is also interactive. And then that was a kind of leftover category as a kind of placeholder for pieces that didn't fit anymore anywhere. So that's interesting because it was a rematerialization and also acknowledging practices as we see in the exhibition, also this nice Taiwanese piece with a barrage and artificial intelligence mixed with real installation, with physical installation, with robotics, maybe mechatronics, and these had not a place. And hybridity was giving them a place, while now maybe you're right, the circle has turned and hybrids have become purebreds. So I'm very interested in how you define it just today.
And then just, quickly about that, also one thing where, because every article, I would say, well, not every, but let's say 98% of an articles or, that you read about hybridity, they all begin with Pliny the Second, Historia Naturale, and, and I engaged in a very serious research regarding, all the different sources and, basically, what it seems that had, gone like over is that, also one of the things that he's talking about there, he's actually making, he's taking a pun or a stab at this other person, and in their inner circle, right? But and that's, I think that's in the introduction is talked about. But then, and I was like, I couldn't get out of that circle. This was, like what you're saying, this like, very heavy grip of language, and how you, get out of this category that is so old, right? But then I found these Jürgen Müller's, and I really, this is why also I mentioned the intermedia, because I do think that, we often, when we're working with new media, we get accused of being like, this ahistoricism, like, well, when it does it, new media stop being new, right? That sort of, charge is leveled. He put it very succinctly when he brings in the syncretism, and I was very happy to see that. Coming as I am, I am a third, quote unquote, you could say a third world person, that where syncretism is like used in a good way, not just as adaptation of people that, come to the north and, become this way or that way based on that. So, yeah, but, anyways, I think that, as I see you, we can continue this. And
Yes, please do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.